Looking out on Weather Street through the rainy weather from
Weather Street.
Weather Street.
Dude, you tell me about Weather Street. Weather Street was your favorite song. And
It was my favorite song for a very long time. And I think C4F only just barely, and I mean barely, takes the cake for my favorite.
Yeah, but I hated Weather Street when I said it.
You did. You hated it. And I was so adamant on that. This was like my favorite song. I really wanted to put this out and get it right. And
even for those like promo pieces and stuff, I was like, dude, you write Weather Street.
Yeah.
I'll do the rest. You write Weather Street.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it was also, for me, it sounded a lot more like California in a way, in an odd way. I think that's why I kind of connected to it a little more. And I think I also very much related to the lyrical concept of kind of going past old places and kind of, revisiting them, especially since that's pretty much what I've been doing this whole week. I mean, I've been listening to Weather Street on my phone all this week because it's a song that for me, it totally kind of encapsulates a lot of the emotions I feel. A lot of the time being a third culture kid, I kind of grew up in, a bunch of different countries. So it's a very familiar feeling to me, and I think it's a familiar feeling to a lot of people. So I was really adamant on releasing this one and, getting it as good as we possibly can.
Yeah. It's another song that fell into my lap. I take the bus to work, and one day I was coming back and there was sort of like a spot that I passed by. The bus stop was called Weather Street, and I have a lot of memories there. Obviously no memories at the bus stop, but where that bus stop was sort of like a stop for me to get off and go to the place I needed to go to. And at that point, it was made clear to me that those places existed, but the way in which I wanted them to exist no longer existed.
Yeah.
So it was like these weird filters over my vision because, yes, that structure is there. Yes, certain people may be there, but the relationships between me, that place, the people, whatever, has all changed. And it was a rainy day and I was sort of walking by. And the thing is, whenever I have like lyrical ideas, I put them down in my phone. And Weather Street was there because I've had a lot of good times on Weather Street. And I wanted to sort of pay homage to that, sort of like do something like that to just put a little Easter egg in a song, And when I was passing by that night, it was raining and I was taking the bus and I just documented what was happening. Yeah, at a certain point I realized like to get off here is unjustified. Like this stop was a stop, but it isn't anymore. It's kind of like, have you seen that movie Spirited Away?
Yeah.
You know when she sort of goes and like all the ghosts are around and then suddenly she sort of like leaves and she looks back and it's all gone?
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like a ghost town.
No, exactly.
And people are always like, dude, it's so nostalgic and like I love it because of the nostalgia. It's not really something I planned.
Yeah, and it definitely, I definitely feel musically the nostalgia does come through. And I think the reason it does is just because of the honesty of the moment. Like you said, it was all kind of, it came to you while you were in a physical place and kind of feeling the emotions at a certain time. And I feel like once you kind of paired that with all the melodies, it just ended up coming out as nostalgic even if you didn't mean it to.
Yeah, also because the key is in B flat, which is not the guitar player's friend.
No.
I'm like, bro, I'm borrowing every chord over here.
Awful. That being said though, the solo on Weather Street is my favorite solo in the entire EP.
I also really like the Ooh La La Las, and I was really self-conscious. I was like, dude, this is really lame.
I think I asked you to turn those up or up.
Yeah, probably up.
Quite a few times. Because they were really hidden in the back. Especially the oohs. Like that was more just kind of an instrumental guitar solo, kind of chorusy. And then eventually, I think the oohs and stuff kind of add this extra dreaminess that really kind of makes the song.
Also the thing with when I had that song, I was playing around with it, I sort of got on the chords, and that first demo I sent you, that was so bad. But the structure was there. When I come up with chords, I come up with a lot of stuff around the chords. Like Is It Choosing Me, that whole riff came out of the chords. Weather Street, there's that thing in the pre-chorus, right? And that thing I had on my phone and I had like recorded it and I'd forgotten about it. And when I was recording Weather Street, I was almost done. And I went through my notes on my phone and I was like, holy shit. My favorite part in the song was almost skipped. And I'm so glad that I found it. And it just feels like it was meant to be in so many
Yeah.
ways. And lyrically as well, the first part is so honest. You know, it's about me sort of looking out through the rain and sort of looking for things that were there, even though physically they are. Like in the filters of my mind, they aren't. But the funny thing is, like, the second line is the only explicit song on the EP, because the first line of the second verse is the bald bus driver is a cunt. And he is, dude.
Yeah,
And if
such
he-
a good line. Yeah.
And what happened, I passed that stop and I was sort of like, okay, I have a verse and a pre-chorus and a chorus. What now? Am I gonna go back into that emotional thing? I'm trying to document an experience I'm going through right now. And the bus stops at this stop. It's almost 12 a.m., like midnight. It's raining, it's cold, it's dark. And this like English dude gets on the bus. And it's Corona time, so everyone's got like a face mask on. And he tries to get in, and this bus driver like sees him without his face mask, and he starts shouting, Mondkapje, which is like Dutch for face mask. And this dude is like super confused, so he can't check in because his car's not working. So he like goes up to the front, and he's like, oh, can I like buy a ticket? He's like, he's like shouting at himself. I'm like, what? So his like car's not working. So this guy was being like a real dickhead to him. So I said, hey, I have an extra card, he can check in on mine. So I pull out my card, but it was expired. And that was such an anticlimax, because I was like feeling like I saved this dude, you know what I mean? And I was like, fuck this bus driver for being a dickhead.
Right.
I said to him, dude, there's no one on this bus. It's almost midnight. It's raining. It's dark. I think it's okay if he joins us. Yeah. And he's like, no, like shut the fuck up and all this. And I was like, dude, come on. Anyways, I couldn't help him, and the bus driver sort of like shoved him out. And after that sort of scene, I'm sitting there and I take my phone out again. I was like, you know what? I have inspiration for the next part. The bald bus driver is a cunt. And he is, and he probably is still. I don't know. I hope he changed. I can't really go that far to say what happened.
But it's another night I'm driving